Okay, Mr. Tom White, Connection is the short film, 21 minutes, played at the Wild Sound Festival. It's got horror, got some espionage, thriller, kind of government kind of thing going on, psychological. It's got sci-fi elements. It's a
Yeah,
really interesting film you got in your hands. Do you remember when you
thank
kind
you.
of came up with this idea for this project?
Yeah, actually, for me, Connection is one of my first time writing in quite a while. In several years, I've been adapting screenplays that with a previous writing partner and everything that I've been working with, and this one here just kind of came out of um, a dive into uh, mental health and therapy and everything there, and then a growing understanding in what that battle of depression could look like. And, that's what I like to do with a lot of my films. I like to try to angle things from a different cultural or societal perspective. And here I like the idea of injecting sci-fi and horror elements into that and to make the beginning of what will be an anthology film.
So there's more than one idea here. There's a larger idea within this short.
Correct. Yes, yes, yes. It'll continue to explore the idea of this particular alien race. Connection actually is the would be the second film in that anthology.
Okay.
It's kind of it's just in the middle. It was just one of those things where, because I actually I've been on hiatus from filmmaking for the past few years. I had become homebound, and the great thing about Connection was my through my illness, I had found a way to be able to create and direct from home remotely. And Connection was my first attempt with my team to do that. And we were very proud of what we did and everything there. But the idea was still this feature film, this feature anthology that explored this idea with this alien race that um, was able to use and manipulate human emotion.
What do you mean by you're able to direct at home?
Homebound remote directing. I'm able to The way my team and I've done it, because I was diagnosed in December of 22 with dermatomyositis, which it's an inflammation in my muscles that makes it difficult for me to stand, walk, different things there, fall risk. That all being said, I found a way to be able to direct with through Twitch remotely. We actually set up remote viewing for me to just like here with Zoom to pull up and look at the set, see the set. I'm talking to the directors while also I have a separate monitor that's feeding directly the camera feed from set to my tablet or laptop there. And from there, I was able to call action, work with my actors, tell them what I needed them to do, um, make adjustments and changes with the crew as needed, and then when it was all said and done, I cut together my film.
I've never heard of that before. Of all of
You've
my,
never heard of that?
I've never heard of that. And of all the times I've talked to filmmakers, like in the thousands, I've never. That
It
is that a,
was
is that a thing? Is that like more like
honestly, it was one of those things where I had never heard of it either myself, because I just I was just going through a deep depression and everything there. And it was just coming from an idea, I call it creative depression. It's just this thing that, as a creative person, I was not able to create because I was stuck here at home. And at a certain point, I just got tired of worrying about it. And I started Googling and trying to find out uh, um, how I could continue to direct from home.
yeah.
And, it was this idea that, doing it remotely through Twitch. And the first thing we did was I got with my production designer and because, I had this idea I had actually already had before I got stuck at home. I had the idea for the film, for the anthology. And I told her, I said, hey, I've got this idea. None of it's going to work if we can't make an alien, a believable looking
Yeah.
alien. And so I said, but then the next thing is once you can make a believable alien, then we have to find a way for me to be able to direct from home and prove that we can make it work. So we did our screen test back in November of last year, where we set up through Twitch, we set up the video for me to see everything and for it to, like I said, live stream from, my cinematographer's camera straight back to my tablet here, and it worked, and I was able to direct from there. There's a little bit of a lag in what you see and what I can see
Sure.
on the camera and everything there. But my assistant director also had me there, on a different monitor on FaceTime, so that the crew and everybody could hear me. I can get immediate speedy changes and everything if I needed any adjustments to any lighting or any changes in any of my actors, and then my actors, I'd spent a lot of time ahead of time with them, remotely as well, because both of them, that was the crazy thing. Both of my main actors, Josh and Maggie, I met Josh while we were shooting the uh, connection. Like, it was the third day of shooting. I ended up seeing him because we did shoot a scene that was here at my place, and he, I met him that way. Um, but beyond that, I I never met Maggie other than through Zoom, and both of them I communicated through Zoom and FaceTime, and we would talk about the characters, we would go over the script, we would do our character work and everything there, so that once we were on set, I got to pull and do a little bit of work, but I didn't have to do as much
Sure.
digging as I would have normally had to do, or would have felt more comfortable with if I was able to be there in person. But
I'm assuming you did
yeah,
the same thing with your cinematographer, where you kind of like either
oh yeah,
ordered or everything was all kind of organized beforehand.
storyboards,
Yeah,
lots of storyboards, and it helps because Sergio and I, Sergio's one of my best friends. We've been working. He's the only cinematographer I've worked with since we started working together in 2017,
yeah,
and we've just got this sixth sense with each other. It's I always say, creatively, for a director, there's something about when you can find your cinematographer and you can just kind of say one or two words, and they kind of already know which way you're going. And I always feel like every time I tell Sergio what I'm looking for, he gives me, if not exactly that, 98% of it, and then I talk
yeah.
him there the rest of the way.
So have you written about this experience that you've gone through, like directing remotely? Have you
No,
like
I mean,
written
quite
about?
honestly, until I spoke to you just now, I mean, I figured it was something that everybody went through. I put it in my director's statement for
I'm
this
looking
year,
at it
and
right now. Yeah,
I explained it to the only person who's asked me about it. I know I just wrapped up at the Genre Blast Film Festival, and the founder there, one of the programmers was aware of what had happened because I had frequented there at the festival before,
yeah.
since I wasn't going to be able to attend, and so they're aware of what happened. But I just don't think many people are. Um, Really, I honestly thought it was pretty not normal, but I figured at least post COVID, everybody had done it at least once.
I'm looking at your director statement. It does not it's not really kind of doesn't state what happened. It just sort of like I'm not I can read between the lines now because I'm talking to you, but I didn't. It's not there. It's not like saying what you experienced. I would just give you. It's an interesting kind of like article or that can get other filmmaking magazines and stuff like that. Like that, you should
Hmm.
share this experience because yeah, I'm telling you, this is kind of new, right? It's
Really?
almost
Wow.
like I'm being joking around, but it's like you're kind of like a robot. You're like kind of like
Yeah.
a robot monitor, right? And kind of
Well,
like
yeah. Well, that's how we our joke on set was that I
yeah,
was Charlie from Charlie's Angels. Like,
yeah,
it was
exactly,
just
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But you could see Charlie. I'm assuming they can see you.
Yeah, yeah, they could see me.
Yeah,
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 they could see me. And we say, you're just like this. The whole point was, my goal in January was, I said I want to win an award for this film from a film I directed from my living room, and
yeah.
I did it. I pulled it off, and so that's that was it, man. Just to direct this whole thing, and I directed all of it from my chair. Even the scene that we shot here at my home, they shot it upstairs, and I made sure that I directed it right here from this chair so that
Yeah.
I didn't break my whole thing.
Well, people can see you. People can come to you, right? And they don't like you just can't come to them, I guess.
Oh yeah, people could come to me
Yeah.
if the like I said, we shot one of the scenes here. When we shot here, if anybody had a question, they might come and ask me in person, or I have a balcony right over my from my upstairs. They just call down from over there, and
Yeah.
I had a what is it, a production meeting or something, and I might have one or two people that might be here, and the rest people be virtually. But yeah, no, but unfortunately for me, I just can't. Yeah, I'm just now with my illness getting to the point where I can get around a little bit more now. But even as we speak now, I'm in the middle of pre-production for um, getting ready to actually we start shooting next month. The uh, the next chapter, which would be the first chapter of the anthology, and I'll be directing all of that here from home too, because I've already said I won't. More than likely, it won't be until the project after this that I'll be well enough to maybe be back on set. But
Well,
yeah,
that's
no,
amazing.
this will be it. I'll have to redo my director statement and make it a little bit more known exactly what
Yeah, yeah,
the journey I
totally.
went through.
You could even say, listen, I directed a sex scene, which you did, right? In
Yeah,
the film,
yeah,
a sex scene remotely.
yes, yes. Yeah, that was an interesting one. Because here's the funny thing, it's technically not my first sex scene, but then it's like kind of like my first like real one, I guess.
Yeah.
Because before it was like this whole easily, quickly implied thing, but this one here, there was a little bit more intricate. We had to do for the angles we were getting because we didn't want to, you know,
Expose her private
it
parts.
exactly like because that wasn't my, that wasn't my goal. I just wasn't trying to make her,
Yeah.
I wasn't
It
trying to
wasn't
make it
about that. It wasn't
explicit.
about, it's about
Yeah,
love. It's about
right.
connection. Yeah.
Correct. Exactly. Exactly. And but it was crazy because Maggie was a pro. She really was a pro. And we were all very I was all up front with her casting agent before who had put her in touch with me and everything. And so she knew up front what we were going to do. She had read the script. Like I said, we talked everything out through Zoom. And like they always say about sex scenes and everything, anyway, as intimate as the scene is itself, that's never what you actually get when you shoot it because you still have a room full of people and everything. And here it's even weirder because you have a room full of people and then you have a speaker box yelling at you,
Yeah.
to do it again. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, it was like I said, the whole thing was it's interesting because it was a very fulfilling experience to have one pulled it off, but pulled it off in a way that I'm pretty proud of. I'm pretty
Yeah.
proud
It's
of
like,
what we turned in.
there's a solid tone. There's a solid kind of nuance, and we're kind of wondering what happens next.
Thank you.
Where did you get, how did you do the alien? Design the
Oh,
alien?
that I owe all of that to my production designer, Brianna. She is amazing. I've also been working with her as long as I've been working with Sergio. I actually erroneously first had her being my script supervisor until I found out that production designer is really where
Yeah.
her ability is. She put together. I remember she sent me about an Amazon list of 5, 6, 7 different masks or something like that that she cut all these different pieces together and repainted them with airbrush painting and glue. And so yeah, you're looking at about 4 different masks to cut together. And then when we got down to it, we didn't like the eyes. So
Yeah.
she removed the eyes that were there for the mask and put in these sunglass lenses so we could get that reflective kind of look on the eyes and everything there. So um yeah, we the one thing I love about working with Bree is that we want to do everything practical, you know.
Yeah.
Um it's It's funny because I didn't want to use, I knew some people who could probably get me some cool looking we could probably do a cool enough looking Alien, but I mean, at some point that was going to start getting expensive, or I wasn't going to need be able to show it much at all. Whereas at least here with practically, if we could pull it off practically, I knew um, if we could pull it off practically and I could shoot it in a way that was interesting, we'd be able to show a lot more of it than I would ever be able to afford with uh, any kind of graphics.
Yeah. It's cool. It like there's no there's I guess there's the only point of reference to aliens, I guess, is something that another film or TV show has created for us, right? So
hmm
you don't want to kind of rip off something else from but there's a your own uniqueness,
Yes,
right?
I wanted what I told Bree was I told her I said because yes, the one thing that I always think of when like you said you're a unique alien. I wanted something that everybody hasn't really seen before, but then
Yeah,
also when they see it, that it just screams or feels extraterrestrial.
yeah,
And I was thinking to myself, I was like, well, what's the biggest things physically that everybody, associates with alien extraterrestrial? Like, and normally everybody's first opinion of what an alien looks like is like the grays. And the
yeah.
first thing that goes with is those big eyes. So I said, well, it's got to have huge eyes. After that, I want something, and probably like a grayish tone to the color. But after that, I want something different. And I was just trying to come up with something, and I wanted something that kind of immediately came off and gave us an eeriness, but then also kind of, some kind of like sophistication. And all I could think of at that point was just about Cthulhu, this Cthulhu look. And so I kind of went with this kind of idea of these Cthulhu-looking beings that kind of had this squid-like kind of look to their head and feature, kind of like a mix between Cthulhu and a gray alien. And yeah, that's kind of where we got, the inspiration for the design. I think Bree, ran with that and really did some great work. Um, and put something really like I said, I'm very proud of everything that she did. And I know that, like I said, it was the first thing that I wanted to prove we could do. Because if that didn't work, then the whole thing didn't work.
Gotcha. Okay, so tell me about the performances. Like, tell me about the actors, like the lead actors that you. How did you get
Yeah.
them?
Okay, so this was the first time that I actually worked with a casting director, with a casting agent, because
Mhm.
normally, with my own independent film, with everything, I know a lot of actors that I'll work with and I'll get them. And a lot of times I'll pull them along too. But I also feel a lot of times that way I end up dealing with a lot of actors that I'm working with for the first time, which
Yeah,
never usually bothers me. Um, but in this particular case, I needed to know that I had actors that were good, and that I would be able to get the performance I was looking for out of them from, with remotely.
yeah,
And that was just it. And some characters like my alien, I knew most of that was going to be done just from the costume work itself, with what
yeah,
he was going to need to do. But for Josh, my lead actor, who was going to carry the film, because I said he's going to be in every
yeah.
single
He's in every
scene.
moment. Yeah,
Yeah, so except for the epilogue. That's the only thing he's not in. And so because it's one of those films that's carried by him. And Josh and I spent a lot of time through Zoom and talking and kind of going back and forth to make sure that he got it. And the thing that I loved, again, with the casting agent, what she did was she put out to I gave her the breakdown for the actor, or for the character,
yeah,
and she got in touch with several of her actors. Gave them all the dates I was looking to shoot, gave them the script, let them read it, and they got back with audition tapes and with their resumes, and I just dwindled them down from there. But when I looked at Josh had worked on Harriet, he had worked on Swagger, several other different shows and different things that he had recently worked on, but he was working a lot, and then he was also really good. And not only that, Josh was fantastic because he was very flexible. Because we actually had a point where we needed to bring him back for some reshoots that he um, really just came in and just nailed, and he didn't complain. And it was, it was one of those situations where, you deal a lot of times you'll, you never want to have to do reshoots on the indie level because reshoots usually means something just somebody messed something up
Yeah.
somewhere, or something just didn't go the way we had, didn't execute the way we had intended.
Was it an
And
added scene or did you kind of redo a scene?
we had to redo it. So we went back and we redid a scene.
Okay.
And it was just, it needed to be redone. Um, Uh, and but Josh didn't complain, man. He came in, he knocked it out, and it was great. And we just moved forward from there. It was. I really loved my time working with Josh and with Maggie as well. Maggie was we had her for a shorter time. She came in for a weekend, and we knocked all of her scenes out with Josh as well.
Yeah.
But then after that, she was gone. But she uh that's my door. Can you give me 1 second?
No problem.
I'm so sorry. 1 second. Yes. Usually I'm not popular. 1 minute. You're a minute. All right. Keep going. All right.
You're all good?
Yeah, I've got contractors that are coming to do work.
Yeah.
I'm about to tell them I need them to dog, come. I'm about to tell them that I need them to chill outside for however much longer we have.
All right, well, let's wrap this up then. I don't want to take too much of your time. So,
Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and knock. Let me sit down real quick and knock it
yeah, no
out, man.
problem. Yeah, I like the ending too. Like I like the ending with the black and white. I don't want to give too much away if people haven't seen it, but basically it's cool.
Hmm.
It's like there's a cool flow to this film.
Hmm.
And one of the last questions I want to ask you before is that one would assume that watching this film and talking to you that I guess the character of Josh is you, I guess, right? In many ways.
It's kind of went through some of the experiences that I was going through. I wouldn't put myself naturally like they're completely in it, but I think when you write, if you're, a lot of times if you're writing directly from
Yeah,
the heart and your own experiences, there are a lot of my experiences and my feelings that were in there. Though I wouldn't say it would be, a one-to-one comparison. He's still
sure. Yeah.
Carson's is still a character that's fictional.
Of course, but there's like about like going through like depression and kind of
Yeah,
like yeah, all like I
yeah.
don't know if you talked to an alien personally, but maybe you did. Who knows, right?
Mhm. Right,
Yeah.
right, right. No, no, that would be accurate. Yeah, no, it was my dealing uh through depression and my understanding
And
of.
sometimes when you're sick and you have to take drugs, the drugs kind of take
Mhm.
you in different directions as well, right? So
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it was, man. It was really just kind of that, and it's really with that intrusive thinking, you
Yeah.
know, that intrusiveness and everything there. And dealing with that for the first time, and dealing with the understanding of that, because that's kind of what that alien is, that personification of
Yeah.
intrusive thinking, everything that kind of went with all of that there. It was it was a tough journey, but it was great to really take it and create something out of it that I'm really proud of.
Yeah, it's great. It's terrific. I love that scene where he's in the shower and all the drugs start coming out. That must have been a difficult scene
Yes.
to pull off. So kudos to
It's
you.
interesting because I tell you what, now Bree and I were laughing because I tell her now every time I get on Amazon, they're asking me if I want to buy like pill capsules all the time now. And
Yeah, totally. Because you had to play.
and
Isn't that funny? Yeah.
yeah, it's funny how they'll do. You buy all this weird stuff for like production design, and they just
Yeah.
keep hitting you with it later on. But yeah, no, that one, it's interesting. That was a much easier scene to shoot than people would think,
Yeah.
just because of the freedom that I had for the ability to get in through the top of the shower.
Yeah.
Um, I knew that opening that I had at the top of the shower, we'd be able to get to and everything there. And yeah, we just poured the pills in after from an angle that kind of made it look like it was showering in the right way,
Yeah.
and
Well,
it works.
it leads to my segue is it's really nicely edited film in terms of like kind of reveal and kind of like and kind of the transition shots with the characters and the alien and like that scene with the shower and then
Mhm.
there's lots of great transition, nicely edited film. So
Thank you very much.
yeah,
I really I appreciate that. Well, it was I edited myself. Uh, yeah, it was my own edit, and uh, I put a lot of work into that one. It was a long time, a lot of long hours, making sure that it got exactly, a look that felt crisp and polished for me at the end of it.
yeah. All right, man. Well, congratulations. You can bring your contractors in and let's talk again. You said you're in pre-production for another film. I'd love to see it.
Definitely,
And
I would
yeah.
definitely love to get back in touch
And
with
I
you.
would strongly suggest, yeah, you writing about your experiences and what you did and because yeah, it's never I don't think it's been done.
I will. I
So
really, I didn't know that. Well, then I will
I'm
make
sure
sure
it's
that
been
I
I should rephrase it. I'm sure someone has done it, but I haven't come across it and it hasn't been done in the mainstream world yet. So let's put it that way.
I noted. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Well,
Yeah,
thank
because
you
I'm
so
sure
much,
people would
Matthew.
love to hear your story. And you made a great film too, so it's even easier to sell your
I will
great
put that
story.
out there more. Then I think that maybe you're right. I downplay that.
Yeah.
So, but yes, thank you so much, man. Let me go grab these guys because they're
All right,
blowing my door up now.
take her easy.